Hi there, it's Tom again, and today I'd like to talk to you about Patsies and Dupes, because we did that short involving the pink hat lady, and the follow up was Don't Call the Baby Ugly. Now, this is follow up number 2. This is because this is a person who was, duped, and she's aware of it. She's acknowledged it, she gets that she was duped. She doesn't seem to understand that she's a patsy, though. Um, She thinks she was fooled and tricked into, I guess, self incrimination, like a law enforcement entrapment thing. Like, when you're a dupe, somebody has taken advantage of you somehow by deception, trickery, fooling you, lying to you. They convinced you that something was real when it wasn't. But a patsy, that's an important there's an important distinction between that and a dupe. A patsy is when a criminal convinces you to do something illegal on their behalf, and then you take the fall for their illegal behavior. So we're going to discuss this because when you're in that place where you believe and you trust someone, it's a lot easier for them to make a patsy out of you. And so we're going to talk about Joey Bag of Donuts again. Now, this is not the same as the previous bag of donuts I discussed. This Joey, he was in the army. He's did 2 or 3 tours in Iraq, I believe. And he became a reservist. His active duty time ended in, I want to say, 2008. Might have been late 07. He grew up in East Orange, which is near Newark in New Jersey. It's not the most well-to-do area. And like most of us, when we go home after enlistment, we try to touch base with the people we used to know. And he restarted a friendship with someone he went to high school with. This friend didn't have a car, so Joey was always driving. Picked the guy up. Hey, can we stop at my girl's place? They would stop there. Joey would wait in the car for about 5 minutes or so while his friend ran in, said something, did something, whatever. He never saw the girlfriend. They never talked. He never went inside. Friend would come back out, and this is where he started, he didn't notice at first, but friend always had like a bag or a package or a hoodie or something, like, hey, I gotta get something from my girl's place, okay. And then he goes and he puts it in the trunk or in the back seat of the car. Then they go off and do stuff. Turns out it wasn't stuff he left at a girlfriend's house. It was dope. This guy turned into a drug dealer while Joey was active duty. And it was not in his possession in the car. Joey was driving. So Joey was in possession of the dope. So if they got stopped, who's going to prison? Joey Bag of Donuts. He is not just a dupe, he's a patsy. Friend took advantage of him, somebody he trusted, somebody he thought he knew, and he didn't really know him. And, he didn't realize the pattern for quite some time. It went on for months that he was doing this. The guy was picking up, drugs from his supplier and using Joey as the transport. Joey was a mule and he didn't even know it. And, it kind of messed him up when he found that out. In fact, he had his particular skill set, his job in the army was really in need in that time period. So in order to kind of get away from it, he went back to Iraq. He went back into active duty and then did another 15 months. And when he came back and went back to work again, he just didn't talk to that friend anymore. Like, they grew apart. And so I want you to think about this because now there's a lot of other people, other Patsies, who trusted somebody. They believed in him. They unwittingly did things on that person's behalf. I mean, I say unwittingly because they didn't believe what they were doing was wrong. I mean, I would suggest in some sense they did, but they had been convinced that they were doing something, they were doing the right thing. And, they're going to lose. A lot of them already have lost a significant portion of their life and their freedom. Um, Except they're not, making a whole lot of money while doing it by going to serve in Iraq. They're going to go to, prison. And that's kind of how that usually ends with a Patsy. And so, you know, it's kind of important to remember that these folks are not political prisoners, they're dupes, and more specifically, they're patsies. And that is an important distinction. Pink Hat Lady understands that she was a dupe. She's almost there. She hasn't quite come to the realization yet that she's a patsy. Well, like, share, comment, have a good evening.